advantage if these contract negotiations go south, and we won't be alone. DG, the dopamine after that hand of Arsenal tweet, and now the Orney bomber. We will get him, DG. Tranquillo. Morning, Gigi. Hope you're well. What has Ornstein said? Els, tranquillo, man. It's been 4 minutes. Tranquillo, man. Take time, man. When you get into a rave, do you start chatting to gal immediately, or do you assess the surroundings? Do you go to the bar, find a place to stand if you're not in a section? Tranquillo, man. Tranquillo. Too excited. Relax, relax. We just need Vinny to not lower his demands. Rock Nation, do right by your boy. Yeah, and that as well. Facts. Breaking, Vinicius Jr.'s entourage denies that the player has reached an agreement with Arsenal. Obviously, everyone's going to be capping in this thing, people. Apparently, the biggest obstacle separating Vini and Real Madrid is a renewal bonus that the club has never paid. From Real Madrid's perspective, it would set a precedent that would encourage other clubs to pursue the same negotiating strategy. So there's many legs to it. Let's see exactly what David Ornstein has said, people. But I can't like skipping ahead, bro. And again, Hand of Arsenal also said, we expect Rock Nation to deny, but we stand on our information. The ball is in Vini Jr.'s court. And could you imagine? Big up Bruno Guimaraes, who apparently were close to getting. Imagine, people. Imagine. Real Madrid have told Vini, take it or leave it. They will not make a higher offer for the player. Apparently, Vinicius Jr. is one of the only players to score against Arsenal for Real Madrid, people. So you can't beat them, join them. There's been no direct contact between Vini Jr. and Arsenal. So there's bare whispers going on. Jose Mourinho has held talks with every single Real Madrid player except Vinicius Jr., which is conflicting because we've heard that he's also spoke to Vinicius and reminded him of his importance, people. Internally, it's believed that if no agreement can be reached, then other European giants will join the race, not only Arsenal. You'd imagine City would throw their hat into the ring. PSG would throw their hat into the ring. I don't know about their finances in the landscape, but Man United being the biggest club in England, throw their hat into the ring, potentially Liverpool and obviously Arsenal. But if we did our homework and groundwork, we're laughing. Real Madrid and Vini are in a stalemate. The major issue is no party is budging on image rights or signing bonus. So it's a game of chicken. Real Madrid to Vini. We want you to stay. If you want to stay, the offer is there. If not accepted, Real Madrid will consider a sale this summer. The cost of the deal to bring Vini to Arsenal would be one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive in British football history in terms of a fee and wages. Internally, Arsenal believe they have the financial means to complete the transfer and are also confident the player would join. Again, we're going to circle back on David Ornstein, but it's best that we just go through all of this quick and fast, people. And don't forget, 6 p.m/6:30 will be live because we play today, people, at 7 p.m. So, yeah, it's an Arsenal day. Real Madrid offered Vini a new contract offer after Brazil's World Cup elimination, but it's still below what the player wants. Vini Jr. and Real Madrid have been in talks for a renewal for 2 years, and they were never close to an agreement. Vini Jr. receives around 18.5 million euros annually, while Perez is offering 20 million euros as a maximum, but this is not the problem. The main problem is the signing bonus. Real Madrid believe that a signing bonus for a player who's already at Real Madrid should be lower than what you would offer to a free agent like they did with Kylian Mbappe. Vini and his camp's argument is that the signing bonus he is asking for is considerably lower than what Real Madrid would pay to sign a new player as a replacement. Both sides remain firm, and the trend is towards a back and forth until the transfer window ends. Vini is in no hurry and has time on his side because he'd sign with whoever he wants in January as a free agent, and because there is a significant portion of the signing bonus from his last contract that will be paid in January. So it depends it depends where you read. So yeah, we have gone over that. What else have we got? Vini's agent has highlighted the differences in image rights. Again, could you just imagine Saka and Vini Jr.? I mean, Saka's not giving up that number 7 and he shouldn't. I saw this tweet where it said, I'm still very skeptical about Vini deciding to actually leave Real Madrid. Then I said, brother, I know he's one of those. This was always my home dons. I can't trust him. Slightly, I remember when he used to perm his hair. He needs to forward, though. So, yeah, you can see where my thoughts are. And then somebody asked me on YouTube, people, when I actually reacted to the Hand of Arsenal stuff, if you were to put a percentage on how much you believe that Vini Jr. will be playing for Arsenal, what is it right now at this moment in time? To which I said, people, and you know me, Mikel Arteta, you need to hire me if you really need PR. Good question. It's one I would have to review with my analytical team and get back to you. The lads have looked sharp in training, full focus on Girona. And it's completely off topic, but I understand Arsenal have reserved a date next week for the possibility of Bruno Guimaraes' medical at London Coley. Agreement in principle is 77 million plus add-ons. Contract not signed yet. Finer details to sort, but a deal is close now. Next 48 hours allegedly are very crucial. Completely on topic, but off topic. I can't lie, put my Endrick in the bag. Apparently, his future is in doubt and another loan is an option. I reckon they're going on loan. One love for the super chat. It's from Marcel. No doubt he's chatting some level of horseshit. Vinny using you mugs for a new deal, getting giddy. I mean, we can get giddy. You're a Liverpool man. Big up Liverpool. Massive club, real fans. But for you, Marcel, you know about this. Chouameni, Enzo Fernandez, the list goes on. Jude Bellingham, the list goes on. You know Alexis Sanchez. You had your legend, Luis Suarez, twerking to sign for Arsenal, going to the papers. You know about this. So we're not even going to give you that. One love for your super chat and your support. Please be easy on the alcohol. But let's see exactly what Mr. David Ornstein has said. What we're hearing, love for the super chat, Marcel, my guy on a serious note. What we're hearing about Arsenal's interest in Vini Jr. and his Real Madrid contract. This is by Mario Cortegana, James McNicholas, and David Ornstein. Vini's future at Real Madrid remains up in air. A year and a half after the Spanish club and the Brazilian agents opened talks after renewing his contract, which expires in 2027, no agreement has been reached. Several suitors are keeping a close eye on the situation. So again, Arsenal are not alone. You wouldn't be alone. With the Athletic revealing last week that Arsenal are exploring a move, Arsenal's owners have also given the approval to the idea of moving forward with a deal. Vinicius Jr. is Arsenal's top target to strengthen their attack. Yeah, pardon me, but for all of this Vini talk, Joe Bloggs, who is the left winger, which I know we're not going to get another Vini, and fans, it would be disappointing. You need several options. So yeah, by all means, try for this Vini thing to happen. Make sure there's another option, and make sure when the window closes, there's a defender that can do a thing if Saliba's not there. There's a centre mid, there's a left winger, and I don't know where you lot are at on a striker, people. Vini Jr. is Arsenal's top target to strengthen their attack. A move to Arsenal appeals to the Brazil international if he does not renew his contract with Real Madrid. So that gives me optimism, but also rubs it out. Again, a move to Arsenal appeals to the Brazilian international. That excites me. And I think, obviously, we just want a league title. We need the left wingers sorted. We want a level raiser. Naturally, Arsenal fans are going to get excited. But, again, you can only go off what's being said. If he does not renew his contract with Real Madrid. So the renewal of his contract is clearly the first choice. This is very different from if Vini said, I want out of Real Madrid. Real Madrid said, I want to sell you. Or whether Arsenal could sign him or not, we're just bidding and saying, listen, we want you regardless. This feels like a market opportunity, if I'm honest. Should the attacker decide he wants to join Arsenal, an agreement is expected to be found on personal terms, which is very conflicting from some things we obviously read where they said personal terms broadly have been agreed. Apparently, Mikel Arteta loves him. Who doesn't love Vini? A player with knowledge of Arsenal's manager outlook says if he doesn't renew, we'll be there. So again, this is where your excitement has to be capped. If he doesn't renew, by all means, you can get excited. But this is contingent on him agreeing or not agreeing a deal at Real Madrid. So this is where the optimism kind of dies, people. The financial differences between Madrid and Vinicius remain significant, with the side scheduled to hold conversations next week to bring the matter to a head. Didn't we hear it was this week? The 26-year-old is due back in training by then. The days ahead will be crucial to determining the outcome. 3 options remain open. Extend with Real Madrid. Wait until next summer to depart as a free agent or join Arsenal now. Here, after speaking to multiple sources familiar with the process, all of whom remain anonymous to protect relationships, The Athletic explains the state of play on Vini Jr. When Real Madrid and Vini began discussing a contract renewal, few people would have thought that it would become a saga. Having joined the club in 2018 from Flamengo for 45 million euros, Vini Jr. renewed in 2022 until 2027. That extension was carried out smoothly, but also gave some indication of what the future might hold. The club presented to him with different financial offers depending on the length of the contract, with less money if he signed until 2027 instead of 2028, as his compatriots Militao and Rodrigo did that same summer, or 29. At the time, Vini Jr. and his inner circle were confident that his outstanding season, in which he scored the decisive goal in the Champions League final against Liverpool, was just the beginning of his establishment as an elite player. Based on that, they favoured a shorter renewal in order to renegotiate new, improved terms sooner. Naturally, he's 26 now. You're only a footballer for X amount of time. As much as football can be a bit tribalism, you need to get as much money as you can. I hear it. With his salary that rises over time and the fulfillment of various bonuses, particularly winning FIFA's The Best Award in 2024. Winning FIFA's The Best Award in 2024, is it called that? Vini Jr. is currently earning around 18 million euros net per season. In January 2025, General Manager Jose Angel Sanchez and Chief Scout Juani Calafat met with Vini Jr., two of his agents, and his father, who holds a percentage of his rights, at Real Madrid's training complex to approach the matter. They proposed an offer worth around 20 million euros net per season. That was rejected by the player side. They put forward a counter offer in the following weeks, which was rejected by the club. In April 2025, so last year, Real Madrid suggested that the renewal was very advanced, with a number of reports in Spanish press emerging to that effect. However, Vini Jr.'s entourage categorically denied it. The Athletic revealed that the Brazilian was asking for a package of close to, but not quite, 30 million euros, comprising of a base salary, performance-related bonuses, and something unprecedented in Madrid's history, a renewal bonus. So what do we make of that? Sources say the renewal bonus has been the main point of contention between the parties since then. So that also tells me, on top of everything I've said, if they can come to a resolution over this renewal bonus, he's ending up, he's renewing, in it. Faced with Madrid's argument that they cannot exceed the wage cap any further, sources close to Vini's camp say they see a renewal bonus as the only way to increase his earnings. Underlining this is the comparison with his teammate Kylian Mbappe, whose salary is very similar. However, Mbappe earns much more from the signing bonus he received after joining as a free agent from PSG in 2024. Real Madrid have always been opposed to accepting Vini's request, thinking that it would create a dangerous knock-on effect within the squad in future renewals. I mean, when you've got Mbappe, Vinicius, Jude Bellingham, all the rest, you're going to sign other stars. I hear it. It makes sense, because it would also have a knock-on effect at Arsenal if you sign Vinicius Jr. for whatever. What do you think is going to happen with Saka, Rice, etc.? Some of you are going to be dense and say, oh, but Saka and Rice and whatever. They're going to say whatever you want. Some of you understand where I'm going for. Smash the like button if you agree. And if you don't agree, you might learn a thing, people. So yeah, within the squad in future renewals, Vini Jr. is open to lowering his demands if it helps reach an agreement with Madrid. So he's open to renewing. He's open to lowering his demands. Really, Arsenal are trying to intercept and take advantage if these negotiations go south. So this is where the optimism is capped. Of course, making content, you got to play the game, but you get the point. But Arsenal have capitalized on this current tug of war over his contract to put themselves in a strong position for a potential deal. I hear that. I don't quite agree with some Arsenal fans that say, oh my God, even if we don't get him, the ambition and all of this is lovely. 100%, I agree with that. But how far does ambition go? Cool, I'm happy if you get Vini. I'm happy that you tried if you don't. But when I park off that happiness, end of the day, the league's about to kick off. We're trying to pursue 4 trophies like everybody. You need somebody else in it. So that's just my viewpoint, people. So this just tells me Arsenal potentially have put themselves indirectly at the start of the race. If in an ideal world, tomorrow there's no contract, Vini and Real Madrid's story is over. We're on paper ahead of the PSGs, the Cities, the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, etc. Whether that means we can get him ahead of those is a completely other debate. As I said, if you understand ball, you understand what I said there. If not, it is what it is. So yeah, aware of the gap between both sides after a lack of progress between Real Madrid and Vini Jr. and of how this has been affecting the player, sources with knowledge of the situation say Arsenal have been making moves behind the scenes for months. Madrid's anticipated signing of Yandy Amande from Leipzig is seen as good news by sources close to Arsenal, as they believe Vini Jr. might view it as a move to ensure they are covered in the event of his departure. I mean, both of you are playing a dirty game. On one hand, Real Madrid are going to sign bare stars, so it's almost irrelevant. But it is relevant in that they've got a replacement and things like that. But also, you probably want to stay at Madrid, but then you can say, I've got this crazy offer from Arsenal. Moral of the story, both sides are playing a dirty game. This is how it goes, people. However, there's yet to be a resolution to that transfer, which could impact the progress of a move for Vini Jr. Andrea Berta has held talks with Vini's camp. Key figures at Arsenal also conveyed to his reps that he'd be the star of a solid project, a team led by Arteta that won the last Premier League and only lost the Champions League final on penalties to PSG. The London club wants to strengthen the squad this summer with a midfielder. In brackets, they are closing in on a deal for Newcastle's Bruno Guimaraes as centre-back to cover William Saliba's absence due to his back injury over the coming months, and a left winger in addition to the 40 million euro signing of Zolis. Madrid proposed a 20 million euros annual salary to Vini Jr., and Arsenal would need to and are willing to make an exception to their usual salary structure for a player like Vini Jr. A signing bonus and image rights could also help from a financial standpoint. When it comes to a transfer fee, Madrid are at risk of losing Vini for free next summer when his contract expires, which some at the Spanish club do fear. He would also, to be fair, be a bit of karma, because how much players have you lot got on a free? What? Canate, apologies. Kanate was free, Rudiger was free, Alaba was free, Trent was free, Mbappe was free. Obviously, the wages, but free. Bit of karma, really. He would also be due a significant loyalty bonus next season because he would have fulfilled his contract. Arsenal hope to take advantage of Vini's contract situation to negotiate a reduced fee. Arsenal's ownership have approved the anticipated figures for the deal. That's the only reason I would have any blind optimism, that everybody's on the same side. While the numbers are daunting, Arsenal hope their expenditure would be offset by a significant commercial windfall. Vini Jr. is a marketing powerhouse as well as a bloody good footballer, and it's felt his arrival would elevate Arsenal's brand to new heights. Arsenal think he would be the face of the club and possibly the Premier League. His arrival could arguably be the biggest transfer ever into the division. But this is primarily a football-driven pursuit. Arsenal know that there are very few players who can genuinely add a new dimension to their title-winning team, and count Vini Jr. among them. The club has carried out intensive work on the mission to sign Vini Jr., and that continues. Arsenal are well aware this does not guarantee a successful outcome. So again, if you're actually reading, you have to cap your optimism. A deal of this side and ambition will be difficult to pull off. But Arsenal being in the conversation as a plausible destination for Vini is a notable development. To even be at the table is indicative of how far the club has come. I hear that. We've come very far. I hear that. That don't mean much. That doesn't, like, I'm not happy to be here. That was just like in the past few years where people saying, oh, but we're finishing second and look at the things we're angry about. We're back-to-back eighth. I hear it. There's logic. It makes sense. I agree. But what does that mean? What does that mean in the grand scheme of things? But nonetheless, Arsenal recognize that if they land a player, it may be their most high-profile signing since Mesut Ozil in 2013. Arsenal are operating under the impression that Vini would be open to join. And I'm not saying Vini wouldn't, but if I'm Vini, I'm keeping every card close to my chest. One day I'm going to tell Madrid I'm on it. Then I'm going to play a bit of hardball. I'm telling Arsenal I'm on it. Then I'm doing whatever. I'm trying to get whatever Arsenal's potential offer to me. I'm trying to squeeze more pennies. The same goes with Real Madrid. And we also need to remember, no matter if it's credible people like the Romanos, the Viniciuses, the hand of Arsenal's, what's being reported to us and what's going on in the real world, 9 times out of 10 can be different things, people. So, yeah. A sign of Arsenal's determination would be that they are not actively pushing for Bradley Barcola, who they have shown interest in, with Liverpool instead set to make an opening offer for the France international. Liverpool have been putting the groundwork for him for the best part of a year. People with knowledge of the situation say there are key figures at Madrid who favour selling Vini Jr. this summer to prevent him from leaving as a free agent in 2027. Key figures, make sure you lot are the loudest voices. The final decision will rest with President Florentino Perez, who has always been Vini Jr.'s biggest supporter, alongside Calafat. Jose Mourinho likes the player and has been in touch with him, but will understand any decision taken by the club. So again, with what we just read earlier, people are saying Jose ain't spoken to him. Now he has. Who knows? Despite the uncertainty surrounding the situation, sources with knowledge of Arsenal's position say they remain optimistic about the potential capture if Vini does not renew his contract at Real Madrid. So I remain optimistic. But at the end of the day, we need plan A's, plan B's, plan C's, because worst case scenario, Vini signs a new deal at Real Madrid. We get bantered about thinking we can sign him, but we've got this random Joe Blogs in addition to Zolis, and he could be a good left winger for us. Broadly, we need to start finding these guys before they become the guys. Bradley Barcola, for example, Leon, Rodrigo, and Vinicius Jr., they were in Brazil. We need to start looking at that, people. Because as you've seen, there are very few players that we could look at as level raisers. But as you've seen with the finances that would be involved with Vini Jr., even with Bradley Barcola, what Morgan Rogers ultimately went for last summer with Rodrigo, if that was to happen, you get where I'm going in it. So, yeah, man, it all depends what you want to believe, people. So I'll believe it when I see it. Until I see bids made or not made, until Vini comes out and says I'm leaving Madrid, until Madrid say radio silence, the optimism has to be capped, people, because it don't make sense to get excited beyond what he would be with you lot. Big up my guy Dapo. The way things are worded, I think he's going to renew. Same. The fact he's the one that will budge says it all, really. Nice to be involved, though. I'll stay believing until it's done. Feel we can get him. At Madrid, he's just another player. Comes to us, he's top of the food chain in the Premier League. Bruno G. Medical is booked for Monday at Arsenal Football Club, DG. Big up UITKs, man. Others will only try Vini for a free transfer. No way City and PSG try. I disagree. City and PSG. Why would you not try, if I'm honest with you? And if I'm Vini, I want to hear everything. Bro, T, it ain't happened. Salam, my guy. I can't say anything's happening. It just seems that Arsenal position themselves. I say 80% we will. Arsenal have had many perm head youths. Just like rivals not wanting us to win the league. Look at all the coping they're doing right now. It's happening. Bro, Vini will be coming to the Emirates. Believe. Big up yourself, Riley. I still remember when Tchouaméni hacked Saga at the World Cup, got away with it, and scored later in the match. Big up yourself, DG. Appreciate you. Smash the likes and subscribe. What a potential window this could turn out to be, people. Big up the Gunners around the world. No way we shouldn't get giddy because Arsenal always does this. We don't listen. Club does this. Apologize for Rodgers hijack. Me apologize. Boring. Everyone's copying the same news. Talk about other things. I mean, you don't have to be here, man. We talk about whatever you lot want. Bring the conversation. This is what we do on this platform. If you don't want to be here, Kevin. All right, someone show Kevin to the door, man. You're scaring the gal, bro. The gal. You see, some of you can't come to parties. Some of you can't come to parties. The gal are there. We're playing card games. Marcel's being a drunken idiot, entertaining them. Dapo's patterning. And then you're out here talking about the earth's flat and shit, man. Get your bitch ass out of here, pussy. Yo. Suck him up. Chair, come on, man. If it's boring, why are you here? Go gym. Watch porn. Do something. What are you doing here? No one asked you to be here. Fuck off. Hey, Chair, come, man. Leave the rudeness to me. Kevin ain't got no Styles. Why is your last name Styles? Tramp. Morning social. Morning joy. Look in my eyes, Kevin. Duck him up. Said it with my chest. People, I'm trying. I remember, I'm trying, man. Why is he ruining it for you lot?